calorie diet. Like the apocalypse happened and this motherfucker's still trying to have 3,000 calories for his son, his daughter, his wife a day. Like, bro, what are you trying to bulk during the apocalypse, dude? He's trying to put on muscle mass, dude. Oh, dude, that's great. I love that.
To detect bullshit.
You know that 3,000 calories still have what they normally consume? No shot, dude. Like, folks, I eat 2,100 to 2,500 calories a day. Okay? And you see me eat a whole bunch of it. That's nuts that these guys are like, 3,000 calories is like a decent amount of food, man. Unless you're just like eating straight sugar.
And it's doing it almost like...
Yeah, but they're out all day and you sit inside? Who's out all day, man? What the fuck? Yeah, cops. Cops are known for doing a lot of fucking physical labor, dude.
An immune system response. Like what we're reacting to and what we're recognizing from all this stuff is like, oh, we didn't know what this was. And this has resulted in this riot, whatever you want to call the Capitol Hill attack. And now we're looking at more censorship on social media. We're looking at, like them trying to batten down the hatches and figure out how to handle something.
Bro, did you really just say our MREs in Iraq were $3,000 each? If you're working all day, you burn it. Did you really just compare like a fucking hog cop that sits in his fucking car all day to literally having like 80 pounds of gear on you in the fucking hot desert heat? When you're also doing physical, when you have to do PT and shit. What the fuck? And also, by the way, the MREs are literally fucking just all sugar, pure sugar.
Than like QAnon or the people that were allegedly promoting these ideas. A lot of them that are banned from social media, the stuff that you highlighted in your show. We have to figure out what's true and what's not true. And so there's been some sort of draconian measures that have been suggested, like hiring some sort of a team that goes over social media and makes sure that everything is according to what they deem to be correct or incorrect, which obviously is subject to biases. And we're very aware that that's going on today, that there's a lot of that going on today where the necessarily the truth doesn't, like the Hunter Biden laptop story is a great example of that, right? Like the social media platforms, they censor.
I mean, thanks to all these Antifa terrorists, cities are basically a war zone, so it's a fair comparison. Dude, I love watching Chud videos and then having like a bunch of dumbasses come in here, dude. Oh, he said it's Femboy Summer now. Okay, he's joking. But there are people who like unironically come in here and they're like, oh, this guy's watching my kind of content. He's got camo hat on. That's right. And then he's like, wait a minute. He's saying some pussy lip-tard shit. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And then they're like, wait a minute. Oh, you got your nails painted. You're freaking gay, brother. I got you. Bet you got your nails painted at the gay salon. They just like hurt themselves in confusion when they see me fucking bearded and with a fucking, camo hat watching hog videos, and they think they're in good company.
News from the New York Post, one of the oldest newspapers in America, on the Hunter Biden laptop story, because
Bro, the New York Post is dog shit. Shut the fuck up, Joe. God damn it. Why does Joe talk about matters that he has no fucking... He just has no idea. He has no comprehension. He's just talking out of his ass, dude. The New York Post is not a fucking... It's a rag, dude. It's literally just dog shit. It's a horrible newspaper.
They decided that somehow or another it was propaganda, or somehow or another it was not good to get that information. But it was news. It was real news. It was a real story.
Yeah. Hunter Biden's cock was real news.
and they decided it was too close to the election. This could hurt Biden. We don't want Trump to win. So you're dealing with biases. This is not just like simply, here's information that we know to be true, or here's information that we know to be a lie. We're going to stop that from getting through. No, they knew it to be true, but they decided to stop it because it wasn't convenient or it didn't fit the narrative they were trying to promote.
Right. I mean, how do you find a neutral arbiter of the truth?
Right.
If you are...
Who the fuck's this guy? Cullen Hoback? Bro, the Hunter Biden laptop was such fucking bullshit. And I say this as someone who did cover the story. And I say this as someone who 100% like thought that the media suppression of Hunter Biden's laptop was like ridiculous at the time. Oh, he made the QAnon doc on HBO? Oh, okay. So he's actually a reasonable person, right? Anyway, the Compromat obsessed libs. The Compromat obsessed libs, it is real news. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but also I personally said that the fucking Russiagate shit was totally blown out of proportion and ridiculous. Guys, I remember a time when most of you were, you know, probably still fucking shit posting in like, you know, alt-right circles and shit. But I remember when Seth Abramson was like regarded as a legitimate source of news. I remember when that other fucking British lady who's like a total psychopath. What's her name? Like there was a point in time when like liberals lost their fucking minds, dude. I mean, they still are. But like 2016, there were so many people that were just like Louise Mensch, yeah. Louise Mensch. Like there were so many people that had just like completely fucking lost their minds on this shit. Where they were like, everything is happening because Donald Trump is compromised by Vladimir Putin. No, it is Louise Mensch. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so you know, they had lost their minds. They were fucking covering like idiotic shit. But the funny thing is, like, the same people that criticize liberal media for TYT ate up Russia prop in 2016. Oh, for sure. I mean, definitely. But that was another point of contention, or at least a disagreement that I had with TYT. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, you did early days. I didn't think it was bullshit, but you made me realize it was before some of the Gen Pop caught on. So those very same people that were shitting on the Russiagate stuff then turned in and were like, why aren't we covering Hunter Biden? It's like, dude, what the fuck do you mean? It's basically the Republican version of Russiagate. Perhaps even worse than that. Like, it's even dumber than Russiagate. At least you can make an argument that like Russia is another country, is a foreign adversary. They actively want to disrupt our elections. They have a vested interest in a similar capacity that we often disrupt other countries' elections in way worse ways and way more direct ways, right? But like the Hunter Biden laptop was so fucking stupid. They were saying like, oh, the big guy. Oh, I bet the big guy is like, you know, Xi Jinping, or the big guy must be, you know, they're getting kickbacks. And like every little thing that they fucking latched onto, including the way that the fucking laptop was, the way that the laptop came into the hands of the New York Post was just bullshit. Like it came from fucking Rudolph Giuliani, man. Are you kidding me? Who got it from like some fucking QAnon computer, like a blind QAnon guy who fixes computers. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. And it didn't stick. One, because there was a mass suppression from the media. And I do get annoyed whenever they fucking do this. Why are you lying? You play defense for libtards every day. You sweat the Hunter Biden shit under the rug, you libtard. No, I fucking love the Hunter Biden shit. I covered it positively, motherfucker. I literally not only covered it, but I covered it positively. Because I think Hunter Biden is dope. Anyway, as I was saying. But ultimately, there wasn't like there wasn't like these like grand conspiracies beyond like Hunter Biden totally using the last name Biden and, you know, getting jobs in places that he had no business getting jobs in. And that he failed upwards as a consequence of being a Biden his entire life. Anyway.
Are going to entrust someone with that responsibility. And I think that it's just an incredibly slippery slope.
Incredibly slippery.
And what these big tech companies have suggested is that, well, maybe we don't use.
One was true and one was false? What do you mean? Most of the fucking Hunter Biden shit was just complete exaggerations, not dissimilar to the Russiagate stuff. The Russiagate hysteria. So it was the hog version of Russiagate. Like they were trying to say Hunter Biden fuck kids because he has like photos with children, and then it came out that it was like his fucking nieces, dude. Like it was insane. It was literally insane. All the cool shit that he did, like fucking, you know, doing crack with strippers and stuff, like, yeah, that's real. I don't give a fuck. He did not fuck his niece, chat. They were saying that Hunter Biden had photos with young girls on his laptop. It's like, yeah, it's his fucking laptop, and those are photos with him and his family. Yeah, they like tried posting photos of his fucking fat cock. That failed miserably. My man was a mad dog with a fat hog, okay? And here you had the entirety of the Republican Party being like, I can't believe Hunter Biden has a dick swinging below his knees, dude. That is devastating. This will surely tank. This will surely tank his campaign. And then they leaked his text messages between him and his fucking dad, and that didn't work either. And then Donald Trump tried to use that shit. Donald Trump tried to use that shit against Joe Biden, and Joe Biden came across like a human for once. If you recall, during the elections, like in the debates where he was like, oh, Hunter, why aren't you talking about Hunter? He did crack. And he was like, yeah, my son was an addict, and he was recovering. Like millions of families that go through this every year in this country. My son was an addict. He's recovering, and I love him. Like, and it just fucking wrapped it up. And I love him and I support him. And Americans were like, damn, that's just right.
Use humans, maybe we use algorithms, right?
We're trying to cancel him for calling his lawyer the N-word, dude.
You know, to moderate everything. And, you know, the algorithms had that in many ways had bolstered something like Q because they're basically sociopathic when it comes to just trying to drive attention as much as possible. So now they can kind of invert those algorithms.
Compared to like Russiagate that only had 12 people actually convicted of crimes around it. Wow, convicted of crimes around it is doing a lot of fucking work there, my friend. Like ultimately a lot of the people that were convicted during the Russiagate shit were horrible monsters, but they weren't convicted because they were like collaborating with the Russian government. They were convicted for other shit, which by the way, don't get me wrong, they should be convicted. And so should the fucking Democrats that literally do the exact same shit on a daily basis, including like Podesta, who worked with, what's his face? Donald Trump's fucking campaign manager, Paul Manafort. So,
and punish those who talk about that kind of content. And oftentimes, even if their goal was just to prevent I don't know, conversation around QAnon because they consider it to be problematic, what else gets swept up? What else gets swept up with that? I mean, I saw a lot of people who were reporting on QAnon, maybe coming from the side of critiquing it. Their videos were being wiped out. You know, people who were documenting January the 6th, their content was being wiped out. People who were critical of QAnon, they had websites that were sort of on the other side. That was being wiped out as well. And that's because, of course, it's sort of this blunt force that an algorithm wields.
So people that were analyzing the movement from a critical standpoint, people who are looking like how ridiculous this is, look at this, they had their chance
They only forgave him because he did rich kid drugs. Hunter Biden was forgiven because he did rich kid drugs. Hunter Biden did rich kid drugs. My man did crack, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? If crack cocaine is rich kid drugs, then what is a poor person drug, dude? He did fucking crack. He was only forgiven because he was a rich kid, but never say that he did rich kid drugs. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? My man was like one step away from fucking doing crocodile, and you're over here being like, I can't believe he did rich kid drugs. Like, what the fuck? He was doing crack, dude. What the fuck?
Channels wiped out.
Yeah, he did the proletarian cocaine. Like, he literally did the cocaine of the working class.
As well?
Yes.
So any content on QAnon, they just want to erase it from the internet, essentially.
That seemed to be the initial response. Yeah.
It's so strange that they all move together in sync.
I mean, I think that if I did not have, HBO in my sales with this project, it wouldn't have seen the light of day.
Really? Like if you tried to put it on YouTube, you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when we first released the series, there were some articles floating around like, oh, maybe this is going to make things worse. If I typed in Q into the storm into YouTube, it wouldn't auto-populate at a certain point. It started out auto-populating and then that went away. So, I wouldn't feel confident at all that, if we didn't have a gorilla in our corner, that this story that revealed ultimately who was behind QAnon would have been able to find an audience. And that
shout out to HBO.
Shout out to HBO. I mean, they really had my back.
They've been amazing for decades. You really think about it. I mean, they're the people that when Bill Maher's show Politically Incorrect got pulled off of what was it on ABC? I forget.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Network television. They immediately took it, brought it over, turned it into real time, and made it even better. It's uncensored now, and it's, in my opinion, Real Time with Bill Maher is probably one of the very best social commentary shows and comedy shows that like really doesn't pull any punches.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Yeah, the subversive Bill Maher. I can't believe that HBO's having such a hard time keeping the subversive commentary of fucking Bill Maher, dude. It's literally an old alcoholic sex pest constantly fucking whining to a camera about cancel culture every fucking week. There's nothing like edgy. There's nothing subversive. There's nothing scary for HBO about liberal ass Bill fucking Maher, who basically is just whining about young kids and how fucking spoiled everyone is. Okay? Bill Maher has not been edgy since his show originally got canceled in 2001. And he said, the 9/11 terrorists were brave. You know what's not brave? Lobbing Hellfire missiles from 2,000 miles away. At least those terrorists were in those fucking planes. That was actually fucking subversive. There was a grain of truth in what he was saying too. Now he just says the N-word. That's it. And trust me, that's not exactly the same kind of commentary, okay? That's it.
On any network, ever.
You want to hear something fucking crazy? So, yes, just yesterday, I was talking with someone who's helping distribute the film. And I said, well, what about Amazon? Are we going to be able to put it out on Amazon internationally? And they said, well, as of the last year, they have stopped taking documentaries. All documentaries.
What?
You cannot publish a documentary on their platform. And the reason was because that I was told is because, there was all this conspiracy, flat earth stuff, and they were getting blowback that eventually they said, we don't want to have to decide what we publish and what we don't, what's real and what's not.
Wait, Amazon published the Pentagon Papers. What the fuck's he talking about? Or a documentary on the Afghanistan Papers, did they not? Amazon Studios actually published like some fucking crazy shit. That was a fictional movie? No, it wasn't. Amazon Studios has been doing a fuckload of CIA propaganda. They have been doing an insane amount of like pro-CIA propaganda. Every single piece of content that Amazon Studios has put out that's like scripted so far has been insane, including the Michael B. Jordan movie about JSOC, Jack Ryan, all this shit. However, on sucking Amazon's dick, you think I'm sucking Amazon's dick when I... Dude, why do chatters have like lack comprehension? And then they blame me for their own fucking failures. Like, I'm literally criticizing Amazon right now, you fucking idiot. Shut up. However, having said that, they also did fucking Amazon Prime Video Direct and the dystopian decisions to stop accepting documentaries. Holy shit, this is really recent. I'm surprised by this. Because they did upload, like, I mean, they had the fucking, what's his face? The Pentagon Papers, or the Afghanistan Papers documentary, which was, you know, pretty solid and surprising for them to post. He said they're not taking documentaries since this year. But thank God The Boys still exists. The Boys is like scripted content that is absolutely fucking anti-American imperialism. So, and probably my favorite show. Hashtag ad? No, it's not a fucking hashtag ad. Shut up.
Just not going to publish anything. God. The example they gave me that they couldn't get published was The Cove. I don't know if you saw that documentary.
The dolphin documentary.
The dolphin documentary. You know, it won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And I just to check it, you know, I looked it up, and sure enough, The Cove wasn't available on Amazon. So, you know, those who said that there wouldn't be a slow creep of censorship, you know, kind of starting with things that I think everybody agrees should be, you know, they wouldn't like to be in society. You know, things like the Daily Stormer. Maybe a lot of people don't want 8chan. You know, there's a progression.
Yeah.
You know, until you end up, it seems like something like, you know, the Cove can't find an audience on a major platform. And I don't want to conflate government censorship with the corporate censorship too much. However, in a lot of ways, it does feel like the government has passed the buck to these corporations to do what they legally can't, which I think is the same thing we saw the government do with privacy, right? Like, they wouldn't have been able to get all of this data from us directly, but if you give it to a Facebook or a Twitter, it's very easy for the government to then go and get access to that information. So I think what we saw happen with the Fourth Amendment, we're now seeing happen with the First Amendment, where they can say, well, look, we couldn't restrict conversation around certain topics. We couldn't directly decide.
Is this guy like a total loony? What's going on, dude? I'm sorry, I gotta reverse it a little bit, but isn't this the guy that made the QAnon documentary? Like, why? What's his way of what's his way of dealing with QAnon misinformation? During the documentary, he seemed reasonable.
Happen with the Fourth Amendment, we're now seeing happen with the First Amendment, where they can say, well, look, we couldn't restrict conversation around certain topics. We couldn't directly decide what's true or what's not. But we're going to put that in the hands of these companies. And of course, these companies have intimate relationships with many members of the government. You know, there's a revolving door there. So I when people want to talk about limiting what we can say online or limiting disinformation to other things, I think that it's almost the wrong place to start. I think we have to go back to the privacy issues. And I actually think if we had not let privacy be eroded online, we wouldn't be having this debate. You know, because if these gigantic companies hadn't collected thousands of data points on us, you know, didn't know our fears, our desires, if they hadn't built these psychometric profiles, they wouldn't have been able to manipulate us, use these algorithms to drive us into echo chambers, which have really created these disparate realities. And now these disparate realities can't agree necessarily on a set of facts. Sometimes you're considered, you know, sometimes people will be ostracized for even talking to somebody from the quote unquote other side, right? And so now there's this conversation about what should be allowed to be said online, and I think that that's simply a byproduct of our privacy having been eroded. So, if I was to do anything about these issues, I would start by restoring rights. I would go back and say, all right, well, how do we get ownership and privacy rights online when it comes to our personal data? Let's start there before we start, going after the speech itself.